So today's class we are going to discuss with group management. Creating the groups, managing the groups. See, managing the group accounts. So a group is a collection of users who can share the files and other system resources. A group consists a group ID and group name. The group ID is in RHEL 6, 0 to 99 system groups. 100 to 499 are daemon groups. Daemons are nothing but a background process. 500 to 60,000 is user defined groups. So an administrator can assign the group IDs from 500 to 60,000. So in RHEL 7, 0 to 999 system groups, so including with the daemons also included. So 1000 to 60,000 user defined. So an administrator can assign the group IDs from 1000 to 60,000. So see here, a group is a collection of users who can share the files and other system resources. A group consists of group ID and group name. Group IDs in RHEL 6, 0 to 99 system groups, 100 to 499 daemon groups, 500 to 60,000 user defined. Next RHEL 7, 0 to 999 system groups included with the daemon groups, 1000 to 60,000 user defined. Now we are going to see practically how to create the groups and how to manage the groups. So log into the server. So creating the groups. So group add, to create the group add space -G. So group ID you can mention 555, for example AWS. So group is created. So you can also use the command group add, group name DevOps. See, first command you given the ID. So 500 to 60,000, any ID you can select. So here we selected the ID 555 AWS, but in second syntax I am not mentioned any group ID. So which group ID it will take, they will ask the question interview. So you can check the file cat etc group which ID it's taken. So to check the groups, cat space /etc/group. So if you are not mention any group ID, automatically it will take highest ID. So for example, if 600 is there, 601 it will take. 700 is there, 701 it will take. So check the group file, you can identify. Now see, AWS is group created, 555 is the highest ID given. So immediately the next ID it's taken 556. So if you are not mention any group ID, automatically it will take the highest ID in this file. So already there is a 600, 601. If 700 is there, 701. So interview point of view, you have to explain the syntax. Creating the groups, two syntaxes we have, group add -G. If you mention -G, you must specify the group ID, otherwise error will come. So if you don't want to mention the ID, just give the group add group name. Automatically it will take the highest ID. To see the group's information, cat space /etc/group. Next, to assign a password to group. So in Linux, we can assign a password to group, gpasswd group name AWS. So assign one password. So the group passwords information located under cat space / etc / g shadow. So this is the file where the group passwords information located. So the group passwords informations are located with the encrypted format. So just now I assigned a password for AWS. So this is completely encrypted format. So DevOps I not assigned any password. So exclamatory means by default password is not assigned, it is in locked position. So remember these two files, etc group files information located, etc g shadow group passwords information are located. Next to modify the group ID, group mod -g new group ID 600, for example group name AWS. So where you have to check the group ID whether it is modified or not, cat space / etc / group. So group ID is modified. So previously we given 555. Now I modified the group ID to 600. Now I want to modify the complete name. To modify the group name, group mod -n, new name is Ansible, old name is AWS. So to modify the group name, command is group mod -n, new name Ansible, old name is AWS. So where you want to check the file, cat space / etc / group. Now see, group ID is modified to 600, group name also modified. The group name is Ansible. Like this you can modify the group ID and group name. So interview point of view, they will ask the question, how to modify the group ID? Group mod -g new group ID group name. You have to explain the syntax like that. How to modify the group name? Group mod -n new name old name. So how to delete the group account? Group del group name, for example DevOps, but I am not deleting, but I am giving the syntax to you. To delete a group, command is group del space group name. Now how to check the errors in etc group file? grpck. So grpck is the command to check the consistency of a group file. So if there is any errors, it will show. But how errors will come? We are not edited, but you can edit the etc group file. For example, I am showing you. Open etc group file, va space / etc / group. Go to last line. For example, here I am creating another group, Linux. So here I given some mistake. I saved the file. So now you can run the command grpck. So it will show the error. So there is a syntax error. You are not given a proper syntax in group file. Do you want delete? Yes, delete. So the files have been updated. Now check the file, no error. So etc group file we can manually edit. If you edit the file, if you do any small mistake in writing the syntax, it will give the error. So grpck command displays the errors if you edited manually. So it will show you the error. You can delete the error, or else you can open the file, you can rectify it. Next to grpconf. So this command will update etc g shadow file by reading the information from etc group file. So if you remove the g shadow file, so g shadow file contains the information of group passwords. or accidentally we deleted or it is corrupted. So how to update that file? So if you run the command grpconf, automatically it will update the file. So grpconf is a command to update etc gshadow file by reading the information from etc group file. So interview point of view, they will ask the question, what is grpconf? We have to tell the answer. It will update etc gshadow file by reading the information from etc group file. So this is the group management. Next we are going to discuss about user management. See here in Linux, we can add the user into total 16 groups. One must be primary, remaining are secondary groups. So whenever you are creating a user, the primary group is must. If you are not giving, automatically system will take. So one must be primary, remaining 15 are secondary groups. Without a primary group and home directory and a shell, an user cannot log into the system. So if you are working with Linux operating system, while the user going to log into the system, you must provide primary group, home directory and user, and shell. So if you are not assigned, automatically it will assign. So what it will assign, they will ask in interview, we are going to discuss. So same like group management, user IDs in Linux. So RHL6 same 0 to 99 system users, system defined, 100 to 499 daemon users, nothing but background process we are going to run, automatically they will run. So you can assign the user IDs from 500 to 60,000 user defined users. So RHL7 same like groups 0 to 999 system users, 1000 to 60,000 user defined users. So here the question is, if you are not assigned any defaults, defaults means primary group. If you are not assigned any primary group, from a home directory and a shell which defaults the system will assign. So if you are not given any home directory, any shell, any primary group which defaults it will assign means default primary group. It will assign users private group. Users private group. Private group means, for example, if I created a user Ali, so it creates the user with, so it creates the group with username Ali. So it creates the group with username and add the user into that group. So simply you have to tell the answers in interview. User at Ramu, it creates the Ramu group. Add the user Ramu into Ramu group. User at Ramesh, it creates the user account. Sorry, it creates the group account. Ramesh, it will add the user Ramesh into Ramesh group. Like that, whatever the username you given, with the name, it creates one group, it will add the user into that group. That is the default primary group. So simply you can explain users private group, it's nothing. So they will not ask any explanation there. Next to default home directory. Already in our previous classes we discussed the default home directory of Linux users is /home. If you are not assign any home directory, automatically it will assign /home. Default shell. Are not assign shell, any shell to the user. The default shell in Linux and our basic classes we discussed /bin/bash. Like this. So when you create a user account, if you are not assign any default values, automatically system will give the defaults. Default primary group is users private group. Default home directory is /home. Default shell is bin bash. So these things you have to remember. In interview point of view, you have to explain. So we can also give defined values. Defined values means I want to give the home directory Oracle. I want to give the primary group Oracle. I want to give the shell to SHR, CSH, KSH. So then the commands will change. So these are the default values you have to remember. So today we will stop. Tomorrow we are going to see creating the user accounts with default values and creating the user account with default defined values and user monitoring commands and password aging of users. So this is also a important chapter in Linux administration. So you have to give the answers properly in interview point of view. Everything we are going to discuss. So practice is very important in Linux. So whatever the commands we are going to use, you have to make it so many times practically. Then once you are having hands-on practical, then in interview point of view, you are going to explain the commands and syntaxes properly. So if you are not practicing, so by reading you cannot remember the Linux commands. By practicing only you can remember the Linux command. So please every day you have to practice 1 hour to 2 hours. Then only you can remember the commands, you can remember the options. So command is only one, but options are different. So one command you can have 10 options, 20 options. You have to remember each and every options. Maybe the interview they will ask any option, how to modify the primary group, how to modify the secondary group, how to modify the home directory. Like this type of questions they will ask. So tomorrow's class, next class we are going to see this user management practical session. Okay.